Icing my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hello and welcome to No Icing with Dritta. She's busy. Dritta is she's on an island in Greece, island of Corfu. So she says to tell everyone, she says hello and she loves everyone and she hopes to be back on the show soon. Tonight we have a special guest. I'm like ecstatic. First time ever on my show. let me bring up my co-host here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Rory.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Awesome. I'm excited about our guest today, too.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, this is a legend, and I love the blues. So, like, blues is like, I think it's in my blood, and I love his live performances. And um, I'm going to show you guys a little clip. I'm going to show you a clip, Rory,
Okay.
of how a little sample, a little snippet of how amazing he is. And you all might know him already in the community, but if you don't, you have to definitely go check him out. Check him, follow him on Facebook. But let me show you the little clip. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Sun is bound to shine my back door someday. Oh man, play it for me.
Yeah.
Is that amazing?
I love when he does the slide. I love that. That's my favorite.
Slide.
He is so good at that.
Slide guitar. So amazing. And that video, let me bring him up so you guys, so now so he made that video. Let me bring him up so he could tell us about that clip I took. I'm obsessed because I thought, like, for a second I thought maybe it was him, maybe he, maybe he let me bring him up. Here's Mudcat, everybody. Hold on. Hello.
Mudcat.
Hey there, how y'all doing now?
Doing good. Doing good, sir. Good to see you.
Hey Sandy.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Awesome.
I'm like ecstatic that you're here on my show. This is the first time you've ever been on my show, so I'm like shaking. I'm shaking. I'm thrilled. I'm like, I've been following you for a long time. I'm obsessed with your music. I see you. You're like so talented. You've played with like everybody. You're a legend. There's a few pictures going around, cycling around the internet right now of you playing the guitar behind your back on a bar, standing on a bar, playing like, is that, am I seeing things? Is that real?
I think I know what you're talking about. Sylvia took a picture at Fat Matt's.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't admit it because for restaurant purposes, but I was up on the table. It's a restaurant, and I don't know. The health inspector might not be pleased about that, but they did wipe it down. And I apologize for breaking the glasses.
Oh my gosh.
Did you break some glasses? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, I checked it out, and but first time I've been up, I did that in about 5 years. I checked the tables were very sturdy. So.
So,
but I did break some glasses. They had too many stacked up there because somebody got a picture, but they didn't need those glasses. So I guess that was fate anyway.
They were just drinking out of the pitcher.
I'm so sorry about the glasses. They said, Did you hear me? Did you hear us? Did we stop you? I said, no.
Who were you playing with that weekend?
My band, the Piedmont Playboys.
Oh yeah, the Piedmont Playboys.
Yeah, I figured that's good. My buddy Evan came up with that name years ago, and I kind of like that name. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say, darling?
I came up with that. Evan laughed at me.
Well, Evan was the first one to use it. How about that?
But he laughed at it.
Yeah, well, there's because of Piedmont Road, Piedmont. There was another in joke in there. And that's where he was like,
"We don't want to get you in trouble." So, how long have you actually been performing?
Well, like you, my friend, as soon as I came out of the womb, as soon as you made somebody laugh, like did I do that? And then he's like, let me keep trying to do that. How does that work? You know, try to make people happy, make them laugh.
Yeah.
Was that
And then,
what was the
then I
first
found, you
instrument
know,
you
I have
played?
a passion for music, and you
Yeah.
know, so I found where those two could cross over. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it
I'm
was
sorry,
some
Sandy, you were
success,
saying something?
some with
Oh,
success at times.
I said, what was the first instrument you ever played?
Out of tune piano. Family
Piano.
I lived with, they had a piano, but it was out of tune, and in the what do you call that? The drawing room, the living room. You know, in the South, you have the living room, and that's where all the nice furniture is. That's where they receive people and stuff. And that's where the piano was because it looks like a nice piece of furniture. Nobody's using it at the time. So I made my own little mad little orchestras and stuff.
Yeah, and
But
you
then I was
live
given the guitar and went from there.
you
Because
live
guitar is
in
really easy to,
you live in
to
Georgia.
start with. I'm sorry?
I said you live in Georgia, right? So
Yeah.
and you went you where did you grow up? You went to
Most
college in like
Tybee Island, Georgia.
in Georgia.
Yeah, I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I came as in 5th grade. I came down to Tybee Island. It was quite a change, but I'm glad for it.
But you went to
Mm-hmm.
college somewhere else, I think, right?
I tried college a couple times. College tried me. Yeah, I went to New York, the National Shakespeare Conservatory, and that was uh, a great thrill and important part of my life and a great privilege. And at the same time, you know, I was like 19 years old, so at that you have a lot of energy at that point. So you kind of live in the you can do a lot. So I was in that school, and I was, you know, concerned with that. But I was also in New York City, and so here I was finding opportunities to. I was just starting to play music, so I was finding opportunities to play on street corners or Staten Island Ferry or such, you know.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you've been on the Staten Island Ferry. I've actually grew up there and
Well, you know what I'm talking about. It's like you have a captive audience. I can't remember. It was like 30, 40 minutes, right? Or maybe 20, but you have a captive audience. I mean, they can move to if you're annoying somebody, they can move. And it's kind of romantic. You got the hectic city, but then it's nice and calm on the water, you know. So I found that was a nice little place to play. But I had a lot of competition with some established accordion players, these German guys, you know.
you played on the Staten Island Ferry
Yeah, yeah.
and it wasn't a paid gig, like you were just busking.
Yeah, that was well. The first time I played was
Holy
on
cow.
the first time I played for people was in the subway on the way downtown to get on the ferry, and I played on the ferry and I was chased around by these accordion guys, and I finally found a spot, gathered a little crowd, and the police came and they said, "Stop, put down the guitar." So smart ass me, you know, I didn't know you better. I put down a guitar and I had a crowd and they were with me all. So I kept singing and I was like, and everybody was with me and I started making up lyrics and it was about what was happening. So the police, she wasn't so happy about that.
Oh, you want freestyle, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
You
sure it wasn't nasty, but it wasn't friendly.
you were competing for the shoe shiners. You know, you got the shoe shiners on the ferry,
Ah,
you got the buskers on the ferry, you got the people selling the pistachios and the
oh, well,
cashews on the ferry. So you had a lot of competition back in the day, right?
I guess so. This was 80s, mid 80s. I don't
I
remember
would
all the
love that.
vendors, but I'm sure they were there, you know.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. Yeah,
Somebody
people made a
called the
living
cops.
on the ferry making.
That makes sense. Because like I said, what is it? Is it 40 minutes or less than that?
I don't remember. I haven't been on the ferry
But it's a
since I was a
short
little
time.
kid.
So like you have no choice but to like, well, I guess people have cell phones now, so they could stay like attached and everything. But back
Yeah,
then, it's like now I'm on the boat and I'm here until I get off, and it's calm water, you know.
I can't believe I'm fascinated that you did that because I grew up there. But Yeah, it's calm. And you go by the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah, it's a trip. It's a definitely that's amazing that you had that. You did that. How long did
But
you
the
do that
cops
for?
came.
Yeah. No, I didn't make a regular thing about that. No, I did not.
The cops came. Did they have two cops that were already on the ferry?
In my memory, there were like 4 cops, but it was the woman that was talking to me because I wrote a song about it, the experience, because
You did?
some hippies handed me a pipe, and that's what I learned about. Later on, my friend from California,
Yes. All the
my,
hippies
my,
took
my
the ferry.
but
All the hippies.
my friend from California later told me because by my behavior, but by that they was laced with PCP,
Oh,
which is
no.
not something I want. I would, that James Brown was in the news at the time for that. But by the behavior, he was like, yeah, I think that.
I would love to see. Could you imagine, Rory, a picture of him playing on the ferry back in the day like that in New York? That would be. Did anyone ever get a photo of you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, did anyone ever get a photo of you busking on the ferry? That the
No.
story is fascinating.
I didn't do that a whole lot. My favorite. I went did a little bit in Central Park, but not in but not like in a correct way, not in a way where I was around a lot of people, where people were passing by and things like that. I was mostly trying to work stuff out. But I mean, at the ferry, I was trying to get people, and I would find a nice little spot in on Bleecker Street or around there. That was my favorite place.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't really a great buzz. I was just starting out, and I was learning. I was writing songs about. I was doing the songs I was writing mostly, or maybe political songs as well. Now that I'm recalling, but I was learning what the Venn diagram, where the Venn diagram is of like what I'm really into and what's going to please, several people at once at least, and I was finding that spot still. And the songs I was writing about things I was discovering in New York, about being freaked out about all the horses are there in the traffic and stuff, or all these Ronald Reagan bombing Iran, stuff like that. It's not what people want to hear playing when I'm playing on the street, or mostly anywhere else, really.
And
so I learned to be more general later on in age, more like that. And that makes it more timeless, I guess. If you were looking for lyrics that are more general, but still reach people that could reach across situations, like people who were Reagan and why was he bombing, They said it was a munitions factory, but it was but Iraq said it was or Iran said it was
you felt that what do you say? You felt that weirdness going on with live performing. You felt it. Is that what you're saying? Like you felt like the vibe from people that, like, when you were out performing, you could feel the vibe that things weren't like okay. They were not okay.
Oh, maybe I'm explaining it wrong. What I'm saying is, like, the material I was using with these songs that I was writing, it wasn't the correct material to be out on the street to reach people, But I was learning this at the time, and so I wasn't in New York for a very long time, and I didn't really have a great busking career there, but that's where it began, and I did learn a lot of stuff, a lot of life things, because you have to experience things to put in your music, right?
Right. You wrote a lot of good music because of it. So,
well, I learned to write. So, I experienced things. I met Taj Mahal. Well, I don't know if I even met him, but I saw him for the first time at the Bottom Line in New York City, and I never seen something like that. I never, because he just played boom, boom, and carried the whole show, man. And and there was a klezmer band opened up for him, and I didn't know what klezmer music was. It was, I said, this is Jewish wedding bands, killer. It was killer before this guy Taj Mahal, and the Bottom Line, they have 2 shows, so they they kicked everybody out. I literally held to the table. I was like, no, you ain't kicked. I'm gonna see this again. And I went home. I lived in Hell's Kitchen. I went home and I wrote like 4 songs that night just because I was so inspired. You know,
Hell's
now,
Kitchen in
it's nothing
Manhattan.
that I'm playing now, but it informed what I'm writing now.
Wait, are you talking about Hell's Kitchen in Manhattan?
Yeah, 47th and 10th.
47th and 10th. I used to work on 38th and 10th,
Oh, right on.
right by the Lincoln Tunnel. I can't believe I never knew you had like this whole New York background, but I thought like I know you had like the history of the South. You've played with the greatest of the greats, the legendary blues guys you've played with. I follow you. So I was hoping you could tell us a little more about that, like all the amazing stuff you've done, like with the celebs that you've met and played with, like all these legends.
Well, I have been pretty fortunate to meet a lot of great artists, and some of them are celebrities, like you said, and a lot of them are equal to the celebrities, but just never were celebrities, you know. And actually, how I met some of the celebrities is by doing work to bring attention to these older artists, you know, these pioneers. And
Pioneers. That's what it is. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Pioneers.
yeah, because I love the music, and you know, we didn't have the internets and stuff. So, you know, when we discovered Robert Johnson, you know, because of these reissues, it's like, wow, what is this? You know, what else? Had no idea that he was just one of hundreds, you know, hundreds. Yeah, he's one of the very, very best, but they hadn't reissued all that stuff, you know. I didn't know the people that had been all around, you know, where I was at in Atlanta, you know. We started reading about them on the back of albums, reissue albums, you know, and then realized that some of these people or their counterparts are still alive and active, but it seemed like they weren't getting as much activity as I thought would make sense, you know, because they only getting better and better. So why not keep them on the stage? You know, why aren't they a big draw? You know, but people weren't hiring them. There we go. I think I got it better now.
Mudcat, hold on. I have my executive producers here, and I know she's excited as me. Like her and I have been like doing like these, you know, finger things, like we're with excitement.
You know her.
We're so excited that you're
We're
coming on.
going to conquer the world.
Like it's excitement overload with your fingers, you know. Let me bring her up. Here's Renee. Hello.
Hey, darling, how you doing?
Hi, Mudcat. Of course, I'm a huge fan of yours. Like everybody is a huge fan of yours. So
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sandy, for letting me be here today. I'm just learning a lot, and Mudcat is one of those super legends that everybody's heard of. Everybody is so happy to if they get a chance to see you live, Mudcat. And then the other thing is that people always talk about how you're such a nice, humble individual, and you don't have to be because you're so successful. But you choose to be very affable with your fans. You're not aloof. You choose to interact with them, and I'm wondering if that's something that comes naturally to you, or was that something that even as a kid, when you were daydreaming about your musical career, did you always say, "Hey, I'm going to be someone who's good to my fans"?
Wow. I had an answer, but hey, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. We love you.
His wife keeps him straight. That's what it
We
is.
love you, Catherine.
Catherine, I've always been nice to everybody all the time, right?
Always.
Okay, it's natural.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey guys and gals, how are y'all?
If there's some pleasant, oh, that's right. Everybody won't go
Behind every good man.
There's a greater one,
Catherine.
but there's I forgot what I was going to say. If
Can't think straight.
if I
Renee,
come
his
across
wife, his gorgeous
as
wife, is
pleasant
behind
or
him.
affable,
Bless his
if I
God.
come across as pleasant or a good guy, it's because I'm able to learn some lessons from this lady right here, because she's the ultimate Southern lady, And she's, even in the most difficult, darkest situations, she's the sweetest person. She be straightforward with you. You don't mess with a Southern woman, or any woman. But they got it down pat here. It's in the culture.
Well, the fans already love you, Catherine. Everyone's saying hi, Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, everyone. I'm in the middle of trying to rebuild the Mudcat website from scratch right now. So I'm kind of my head's all in WordPress. So I will let y'all get back to it. Y'all have a great night.
Bye. That is very stressful to put a website together. That's a lot of work. So
Yes.
hopefully
They keep doing that to her because they keep selling it to the next person or whatever. Or they keep changing it up. Then she's like, so she's become an expert, and then for no reason that she has to become an expert again.
Just do it yourself, right? That's the best.
Well, that's what I was telling her. I said, you got more important things to do. Your own projects instead of keeping my stuff fixed up all the time.
Oh, but well, you're in it together, and that's part of the thing of success that I always talk about. Is like it's good to surround yourself with people who are very supportive and see your success as their success. So clearly, you guys are on the same team. I heard something. I think she's.
What is that? Catherine?
Is she cooking? She's cooking. I love how she cooks.
Oh, I bet it's my mother's cell phone.
Me too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. It's solved. We have my mother's cell phone. She passed away, and I was trying to do anyway. And it's on, and she had all these reminders, and I think it's one of the reminders. Is it a reminder?
Yes, she has a TV show coming on in 30 minutes.
What's the TV show?
I don't know because I accidentally hit snooze.
Okay. Anyway, I never heard that before, but anyway, it's been off for months, and I turned it on just today.
Oh, that's wonderful though that you get to see her reminders. That's
like
a tribute to her.
Such TV shows coming on, and she wasn't a big fan of TV. I thought,
Yeah, so now you find out all these extra things about her. That's so cool. I love that. Okay, sorry. So she answered the question that yes, you've always been nice. So you've always been a nice guy. Maybe
no, I'm equally. I have the equal. I'm equal on the other side too. I was quite annoyed last night at a gig, and I cursed a woman.
So tell us about that, because I think that's what everybody knows you as such a sweet guy. I think it would be more entertaining and interesting. And more educational. No, really, for people
to hear how you cuss somebody out.
I want to hear about Mudcat cussing somebody out because
I'm not proud of it. I'm saying it's an admission. It's an admission.
Right, but this
and it's a woman.
He doesn't want to say it in front of Catherine, Renee.
Downtown. No, I said it too many times in front of her this morning, and it upset her.
It was true.
But she was upset because I was like, I recreated the moment, and it was like, so it did hurt her,
She put you in a bad situation.
I really tried, but I was a failure in as far as like I couldn't figure out how to diffuse the situation,
But you're human. You're human. No,
right.
I have friends that gig around San Diego, and they have people that are like, just like, just not understanding how it all works. I guess is a nice way to say it. They just don't. They don't maybe understand that you're there and you're working and your time is valuable and you're doing a real life performance.
Yeah, because our job is to make a party situation.
Work your whole life for. So people can be weird in the audience, we all know that. Anyone in the entertainment business, we all know that, right, Renee?
Yeah, that's why I wanted him to say something, because this is something I've been thinking about a lot. President Zelensky of Ukraine was asked what the hardest part of the war was, and he said it was maintaining, being cordial and compassionate to the enemy when everything in him wants to just be vengeful and angry, because somebody's poking you, they're poking you, and it takes all you've got to do the right thing and be ethical all the time. And I think it's very inspiring when we hear from our icons like Mudcat that you can have a moment where you slip a little bit. But to me, that means you're a more powerful person for all the times that you did not slip.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Hey, you heard that?
I love that, Renee. I love how you worded that. It's so true.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why people want to hear about Mudcat. We all know Mudcat as the smiling face, the supportive face, the friendly guy, and it's just so interesting. And I think it's more uplifting for the audience to hear about when Mudcat curses out a lady, because we all do that, and we're so hard on ourselves. Like, did you go and beat yourself up after
Oh
that?
yeah.
You
Oh
see?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So
You felt
now,
bad.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Because
Like
what
you
are you
couldn't
telling?
hold it anymore. But like some people push you. They push you. Like push you, push you, push you, push you. Like, come on, man. Back
yeah. It was,
off. Give me some
yeah.
space.
I arrived, and I arrived a little fatigued too. So
Well, that's why it's inspiring, because if anyone's watching this, we've all been there, especially in the entertainment business. They, like Sandy said, they're very rough, they're very rude. Even in social media, it inspires people to be even more rude, I think. And to see, like, because when I have a moment where I slip up, I come down so hard on myself too. But to hear you say that even you're capable of that makes me be a little bit more interested in self-love and being a little bit more patient with myself. And I think that's important as an entertainer, because you got to go up and do it all over again. And the people are hungry, the people are there, you're in the public eye. Everything you do is going to be scrutinized at a level that someone who doesn't have the bravery that you have, that they just stay at home, they don't put themselves out there, they don't take a risk. You're taking a risk every moment of your career. You're putting your reputation on the line, your art on the line, your creativity on the line. And man, it is hard. You're being a musician full time the way you are. I mean, being an actual career person, that takes all the guts in the world, and it also is a lot of sacrifice. You've sacrificed a lot to get to where you are, and that's why I think you get all the respect that you deserve. So
music take you a lot of places. You know that.
yes,
There's a lot of places I've been, and a lot of places I've been, different countries and different, castles and mansions and shacks and jungles and it takes you all kind of places that I wouldn't have been able to go ordinarily.
right, exactly. And
Yeah,
it's
you were telling us before about your European tours. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. There was a time where if you asked Catherine, I was gone 6 months of the well, she did the taxes, so she'd know, but I was gone 6 months of the year, between each tour, and I guess that was like a 15-year period or something.
yeah.
I still try to get there as much as possible, but I haven't been there since before COVID. But now
Yeah.
my friends are coming to see me and stay with us.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
and Renee, if anybody wants to see Mudcat play, he does follow him on Facebook, because he's got a Facebook page called Mudcat, and you can find out all the venues and live gigs that he plays at in Atlanta. And you
Yeah,
can see
and
him
then
go
go see
live
him.
online.
Yeah, and you get to see him live, and I mean
Yeah, he
that's a
does
big
shows
deal.
several times a week.
Yeah, we got this residency at Fat Max Rib Shack.
Wow, that's going to be cool. Mudcat, I want to know, is there anything about your career that you would have done differently with hindsight wisdom?
Would have liked to have done I would like to have more discipline, self-discipline, to be a better musician, you
Okay,
know.
well, talk about that, because you're somebody who's such a diligent, hard worker. I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear you say that when you're
Yeah.
in it. You're in
I'm
it all
surprised
the
right now
time.
when he said that.
Yeah, that's surprising. So what do you
Well,
mean by that?
I really need um I need to some brilliant guys told me that you need to do it. It's beyond use it or lose it. You have to use it and use it to build it. You have to keep, you know. Um, so it it's I don't have the discipline to sit here and learn chords and stuff like that. I can, I get a book or something, and I'll learn a couple. I'll get into it, and then I'll be like, okay, well, I made a song out of that. I don't need the rest of this book. Uh, uh, and let me get in, because my mind goes into something else. I'm a farmer. That's where my head will be at. It's like, oh, I got enough to, but it's the performing for hours. Um, you learn a little bit maybe out of this book or something else. See something on a video or a friend or just made up something, and then you work it. you're playing a 4-hour gig, and maybe, and if it's something that you're really hot on, you do it early in the night, and then you do it again later. It's different people, or if it is the same people, they'll be interested to see it twice then too, if they stayed that whole time. But you got to really do it, for what I'm doing, because I'm a performer. Even the songs that I write, I improvise a great deal of the lyrics, and I keep them. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this. I got this beat and this rhythm, whatever. So what's this coming to my mind? And I'll sing something, and I was like, I'll do something else later, and I barely fixed some of that stuff, So it's really at the moment kind of thing for me, So I really want to be in front of people. That's why I had to keep doing that streaming thing, and it was a totally different thing because I couldn't get reactions from people, and then I had to read it, wearing these glasses and stuff, so it was a different. That's why I told people, like, some people were down, what's streaming, what's that? I'm like, no, it's different. You got watercolors, you got oils, you got sculpture. It's another thing, and there are elements where they're all the same, but it's its own thing, and
right. Yeah, it's very different, isn't it? And in some cases, I think that being virtual gives us more creative license because you don't see the people staring.
You guys are working it. You guys are really working it. I'm still big. I try to like, oh, do I got a good picture behind me? That's about it as far as I'm taking it. Right
now. Your live streams are very professional, very perfect. The audio is great, the visual is great, and you're
looked out with a good phone.
Yeah, and you greet people, you make people feel special, you make people feel like they're your friend. Yeah.
Well, that's what
when the dogs come in, you go with it.
I remember one time he knocked it down on
Renee, before you got here, Mudcat was telling us a story about how he used to play. He was a busker on the Staten Island Ferry. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
And he wrote a song about that. And I'm now, is it possible for you to play that song for us, or no? Is it too buried?
I don't know it. I mean, it's probably in my book. I'm trying to think what the title would be. I remember there was hippies and.
I'm dying to hear that song now,
because the whole thing about I remember
and German accordion players.
The whole point was about people, about which I really found beautiful about New York was like people from all ages and people from all races. Then everybody was, and there's obviously gay people and not gay people, or maybe who knows. And everybody's like, yeah, we're all here partying together, man. Even in fact, I went to really illustrate that. I went to a Great American Smokeout or something like that. The pot rally over there. They had a flatbed truck in front of the United Nations building, right? And that's where everybody. We did a big march from NYU. What's that park down there in NYU?
Oh, I forgot the name of it.
I know what you mean too.
I know what you're talking about. There's so many great parks in New York City. I can't remember.
Washington Square. Yeah.
Washington Square. Yeah. Yes.
So we congregated Washington Square, where the folk scene really started, coalesced, We started there, and it was speeches, all that stuff. And we marched past Lyndon LaRouche, who was an important person at the time, what to do with it. And his apartment, we yelled at him. And then we went to the United Nations building. There was a flatbed truck with a band, a bunch of people speaking. And that's the first time I heard Bob Marley. He was like, get up, stand up. And I was like,
was he live?
No. But I was like, what is that, man? Get up, stand up. I was like, you can have songs, you just say that stuff directly, and you dance to it. Said, oh man, right on. And then I'd never been to something like this. So they were like, all right, line up. And there were joints flying over there, like all over, and they're all over the ground because everybody like brought as many joints as they could. And they just flew up, and that's when everybody's like, all the ages, all the races, everybody's like lighting it up and passing it, and everybody just get up, stand up, and like, wow.
Was it a boombox? Did someone bring a boombox?
No. It was through they had a PA system and a tractor trailer truck where they had speeches. I think they might have had a real band later on, but.
Oh man, what a memory!
But on the PA was that get up, stand up, right in front, and the United Nations building behind it. Now all these potheads, yeah.
Oh yeah, you get it's a melting
Don't give
pot.
up the fight.
So that's on the opposite. That's the east side of the island, as I recall. So I floated all the way home, man, because I was on the west side.
It's a great part of town. It really is.
Well, I know we talk about it as New York. But I really, I always wanted to go to New York. Ever since I'm a comic book fan, so that was like made in I forgot what street. But when you're there, even if you aren't even if you're not accomplishing anything, you feel like getting something. You feel like you're still involved.
Yeah.
You
There's
are. Well,
larger
you are.
energy.
Yeah, you're part of like history.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a comic book fan. I just learned something.
Yeah. Well, I got a bunch of comic books I want to get rid of. Yeah.
DC or Marvel?
Well, a little bit of both, because I'm like Jack Kirby, or I follow a person like the Spectre. We're big Spectre fans, or certain, and sometimes Ditko do something at DC, but mostly Marvel. That's my,
Yeah.
Or I got some of these underground comics. Skip. I knew Skip Williamson.
Oh wow.
I have the original Long Island Lolita comic book.
Oh wow. That sounded
Remember that
pretty interesting.
story?
Long Island Lolita. That sounded interesting. I don't think I met her.
The Amy Fisher story.
Yep.
Oh.
They have it in a comic book.
They made a comic book about it.
Oh wait, I read.
Hey, I'm Joey Buttafuoco. Oh.
Sequential art, or isn't that what they call it? Sequential story or something.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they said that they did a Lorena Bobbitt comic book, And
Oh yeah, I'm
John
sure.
Bobbitt.
In 3D.
They probably do already have that. I'm
They
sure
probably do.
Yeah.
Mudcat, I've been wanting to ask you this because I feel like you exemplify this trait. I think all of the arts have an appreciation for the apprentice and the mentor dynamic. Hey, Catherine.
Okay. I was talking about Skip Williamson. He did this.
Oh.
Catherine and I, we talked. I was like, hey, since Skip is our friend now, because I knew his daughter. His daughter is our friend, and when she got married to her beau, we played their wedding, and that's when I first met Skip. And I'm like, man, I've been a big fan, and I was too nervous. I had to get him to sign something. But then Catherine and I said, hey, we could. I wonder if we could make him an offer. Maybe he might do some art for this. This is one of my albums.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was going to ask. Where can everybody buy your music? Can anyone purchase your music or listen to music? Bandcamp. Okay.
Bandcamp.
That's all I got 13 or 15 studio records, and then a bunch of little whatever's other stuff in there too.
Yeah, I know there's so many platforms nowadays.
But I like Bandcamp. I know it's not the most popular, but I like how they treat artists, and it's the product you get is great. You can get it in all the different formats, and you can even sell stuff off it if you want. You could, if I had CDs still, actually I do have CDs, but I could sell them off of there too.
Yeah, we know a lot of people that do the same thing.
So I'm a big Bandcamp fan.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Lars Nagel, Troy Moore.
Yeah,
Troy,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can, my buddy, Snave, who's been with me for 30 some years since we were busking on the street. He's playing bass with me right now, singing, and he 2 days ago, on Tuesday, he got together and made a recording at his house, and he was super inspired. So he came up with 4 songs all at once. He had a great rhythm section and had these lyrics already, so they went for it. Well, it's available now.
I'm Bandcamp.
We're on Thursday now. Because he was like, "Hey man, I covered this song. I did. You might recognize the last song. This song we did like 30 years ago, like a crazy song."
Very cool.
Will you play us a song so I could show the fans how amazing you are and how talented you are?
How amazing!
I don't want to be pushy
It'll
though.
be my pleasure.
Am I pushy, Renee? Am I being pushy?
No, we want to hear him play.
I'm like,
Let's be
I'm
pushy.
trying.
Look, I'm just so dry, honey. Oh, she's already outside.
He's parched.
Oh my goodness.
Bring him some tea.
Yeah. Apple juice.
There you go.
Here's a sometimes I get mixed up, put some Buddy Moss in there too, but it's a song that Blind Willie McTell recorded back in 1933 up in New York City. Because Blind Willie McTell and Curly Weaver and Buddy Moss all went up to New York from Georgia to make records. Thank you, honey. 78s. And during the session, they record, I don't know, 20 or some songs or maybe more. And they backed each other up. That maybe there were two of them or three of them, or maybe they're solo now. Anyway, it's very interesting that these country boys up coming up to Harlem and living up there, living the high life for a couple of weeks and being stars. Making some money, recording some songs. I don't need nothing but my overalls. I trim these women, man. They bound to fall. Well, it's now your time to worry. My time a little long. Yeah, with your reckless disposition, honey, it drove your daddy away from home. Try to treat you good, and I try to treat you right. You stayed for me, honey, both day and night is bound. It's your time to worry. Yeah, make it your time to live alone. Yeah, with your reckless disposition, darling, drove your daddy away from home. Well, it's a mighty sad story, honey, but it's understood. Everybody here in Atlanta, mama, in my neighborhood is singing now. Your time to worry, my time to live alone. Yeah, with your reckless disposition, mama, drove your daddy away from home. Well, honey, I don't need nothing but my overalls. I trim these women, man, they bound to fall. Yeah, your time to worry, my time to live alone. Yeah, mama, your reckless disposition has drove your daddy away from home. I try to treat. What's that song called? I try to.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I love that.
So good.
I love
So
it.
good.
I want to
You
buy
make
a
it look so
CD. I need a
easy.
CD. How do I buy a CD?
Yeah. Everybody go buy some CDs for
Yeah,
Mudcat
come
because
get him. I got a million selling. There's a million in my cellar.
Bandcamp.
Is
head
it
over to
Bandcamp?
Bandcamp.
A lot of stuff on Bandcamp, that's for sure.
I
And
love
we're going to the studio. Hopefully Monday. I'm waiting to hear a call back after this interview here.
Wow, that's exciting. I wanted to get my question. I just wanted to ask you because you really seem to exemplify this, and I know in the blues it's a big deal to sit at the feet of the greats, and this whole mentorship and apprenticeship dynamic where you are one of those people where you got into the trenches, you got your hand dirty, and you put in the work, which is like the street cred of learning from the giants of the industry and really following their lead, but then putting your own independent spin on it. What do you have to say about that? Because a lot of the younger generation, I don't see doing it as much as I remember our generations really lauding that, here's some amazing, like Taj, right? Like Taj. And you just sit there and you just learn from him and incorporate it into your own career. Can you talk about mentorship?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, a lot of it is, like one of my main teachers was Mr. Frank Edwards. He was born in 1909. And I didn't ask him a lot of questions, I learned I learned more about his history from other people asking questions, really, because I was just kind of hanging out with him and being his friend, and uh, um, yeah, well, I think I said that, and that's with these other my other friends, backing them up. That's when I was learning the music, is backing them up. And Miss Cormay, I put my head in front of her. There she is, right there. Yep, that's Miss Cormay Bryant. That's Curly Weaver's daughter, and we learned. That's Blind Woman McTell's best friend was Curly Weaver, and he was up there in New York, as I mentioned, 1933, recording with them. And she had heard me on the radio, and she said, "Hey, come on to my house sometime," because she didn't let just anybody out there. And so we were out there drinking homemade wine and hanging out and having a good time, meeting the family and stuff like that. And us young boys hanging out there and she would sing. We have to learn from her mouth, because she didn't play guitar. She played guitar. She picked it up. She could do anything, really. She was amazing. But she started singing. We have to follow her voice, because we hadn't heard those songs from 1933 yet. They weren't available. And while we heard them, she would play them on her little tape deck or whatever. But they weren't on the radio. They weren't on the internet, and we couldn't go out and buy them. So we had to learn these songs from her. So we never learned the riffs correctly. So these guys playing these songs correctly. These young guys playing these songs correctly. Because there's all kind of instructions and everything. But we had to learn, and she would be, even in a performance, she would say nope or stop. She would just stop it, like nope, it's too fast, or it's this or that. And so we'd get it just right behind her.
Well, don't you think that's the authenticity of the blues? It's not just about being technically proficient, but about being the legacy, the lineage, and actually learning the culture, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
in this
more than
instance, we were
just.
carrying the story that she was telling. We were carrying the story, and giving her a platform to tell her story. And if we're going to do the song, then we're understanding the story, or at least our own interpretation. I'm pretty sure that a lot of mine are interpretations of the story that maybe weren't quite intended.
Right, that's you carrying the torch, and I know blues is really big on that. I know R&B, rap is definitely into that. Even rock and roll, and I think all great artists really love to carry that torch, push everything forward, but you take from the past into the future to
It's our
keep that.
responsibility. I feel it's our responsibility. I think in any artist, any genre, any kind of music, not just music, but any artist or human being, really, to carry on traditions, to the future,
Pass the torch.
and embrace them, and what's good for us, and maybe internalize them or fix them our own way for our own situation, or adapt them to climate change or whatever the real changes are, or we're urban, so we have some of these things have to change, but still learning traditions and carrying them on and putting our own personality in there, which means we understand it in our own way. And it's like, all right, next generation, go ahead, and it's your turn to do the same thing, and you can look at, and you can read the books and listen to CDs and see the people behind me. So
right, and
but there are a lot of people at the club, like, I play this place called Northside Tavern. It's right by Georgia Tech. So every year I would have a fresh a bunch of freshmen. So you have these kids that never been to a ball or not really hung out at a ball before and really hadn't been exposed to music. It's hard in America to be exposed to good music sometimes, And so they came to the ball and they're like, blues to them was something was used on a commercial or something. And it was like something down, whatever. So year after year I would hear different people would tell me, I didn't think I liked blues, but you brought it to life, and now I understand, and then they would go from there. I like this kind of blues or this,
Did the sound?
That and we got laid that night were my two favorite things for people to say. I'm sorry,
Renee, is the sound okay?
People would say, because I was always like, hey, y'all got to make some love. And they don't know this world, And then
Yeah, his sound did change.
Some people will report back and say, yeah, we made some love. So.
Yeah, your sound
Like
changed.
that, something happened with the sound.
Your microphone changed. Your microphone changed a little bit, Mudcat. I don't know if. Can you hear us, Mudcat?
Okay, good.
Okay, you can hear us. Yeah, it just changed where it's like lower and a little bit. I don't know if your microphone changed.
It's echoing.
Tinny.
Yeah, the
Kinda
fans
tinny,
are saying
yeah.
it's echoing.
Yeah, but we can still hear you though, so that's good. I learned a lot from that. Thank you for your answer. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yes. So
what should we do, Renee?
We only have a few minutes left, so
yeah, we only have a few minutes left. I was hoping you could play us out with a song.
I know. I was hoping he'd play another song, but I don't know that let's see how a song sounds. It might sound too tinny, though.
It sounds real tinny,
your microphone and plug it back in, maybe? Can you maybe unplug and plug it back in? Okay. All right, let's see it again.
Is that better?
Still sounds like your sound is coming through a coffee can. Sounds like you're coming through a coffee can.
Here,
when you watch the replay, you'll hear it. You'll see what it sounds like, but different.
Renee, what if we all mute ourselves and see if it sounds better for him?
Yeah, and take off his echo cancellation. That might help a little bit.
Okay.
Hello, check. Yeah, hello, check, test. Hello, everybody.
It came in.
Yay!
There you go.
Right.
We got it.
Okay.
Let's play. Good job.
There we
Yeah.
go.
You want me to sing out?
Yeah, sing us out. Take us home.
All right.
We love you.
I love y'all, and thank you so much for having me. I'm gonna do
Thank you so much.
Do brand new song I wrote for the band.
Oh wow, you sound really good right now. This is great.
Ungrateful sun shining on us all. You know we're trying to sleep. Ungrateful moon stirring lovers with the souls to keep. Well, souls to keep. Ungrateful love, uninvited. Man, you've given us a reason to live. Ungrateful child, and the devil has to look you. Hey, with all the love you give. Grateful cow, chewing greens. Thankful sour with sucklings to eat. It's all rock and roll there. All right, one more verse. On grateful sky, deep blue, always blowing my mind. All great stars shining my way so I can find. All grateful sun, shine on my enemy, shine on my lover, shine on my back door. 'Cause someday, yeah, shine on my enemy, shine on my lover, shine on my back door. Someday, oh baby, someday, shine on my enemy, shine on my lover, shine on my back door. The end.
Wow. Wow. That was awesome, by the way. That was awesome.
I'm glad you like it.
Thank
I
you.
I know I know we're over time, but the lyrics to that just totally blew my mind. Can you just give us a quick shine on my, I mean, that's like where did that come from?
Oh, well, that shine, that's come from reckoning in the last 3 years. I'm sure we all have an internal struggle about the angel and demon. Want to be nice to somebody or want to punch them in the face. And it's really been put to the test in my mind from the politics with that dude all the way up to then the COVID. And so I think we've really been pushed and divided, and but it's all manipulation, of course. But I had of course, I had to come to my own terms with my own anger, and expressing the anger. And my latest thing about anger is that they say that anger is an expression of grief. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm like Johnny Cash. I have grief for the world, man. I've just seen too much of everybody messed up. So that's why I'm so angry, because I know it could be so much better and so stupid that it's not. But anyway, so that's where that verse about shine on my enemy, shine on my lover. It's like, 'cause we all need some love. Just shine on us all, because everybody's going through something, really. We don't know what the whole thing about. We don't know what that person is going through. Everybody's going through something. But the whole thing about the ungrateful part was like, oh, it was me writing down. One night I was all self, oh, boo hoo me. So I was like, man, I'm just an ungrateful son. And then when I was looking for some lyrics, I was like, man, I need a rock and roll. This band is rock and roll. I need a rock and roll song. And that I was like, oh, what it was Ungrateful Son, and then that's how that whole thing came out. And then played that little game about, like, you know, being sarcastic about something that's really good.
Oh man, I love how you talked about anger and grief, and it seems like you are so positive about embracing your emotions as you feel them instead of going deep into like self-loathing or judgment. It seems like you're very healthy and you just channel it right into your art. That is how we all should be. It just goes into the art, and shine on my enemy, shine on my lover, and you just sort of feel like, okay, I'm angry. I'm feeling anger right now, and that's okay. And this is how I'm going to express it.
Yeah, because I'm not always, those are my aspirations, to shine on my enemy, shine on my lover. I had a whole album, and the main song was "Get Your House in Order," and it sounded like I was preaching, but I was telling myself, "Get your house in order," and but it sounds like I'm preaching, but because it is, but really I was telling myself.
Yeah, don't you feel like in art it's almost like we're projecting when we write something, it's always about what we feel. I mean, even John Lennon said that.
That's what we're experiencing. What else are we supposed to write?
You can't write anything except
Fantasy.
for your own experience is the only thing that you have to offer that's different than everyone else. So put yourself out there and embrace yourself as you are. And if you're feeling angry, just put that into your song, just like you did. I was very inspired by that song. I thought that's one of the best songs. Honestly, that's
Right
I'm gonna
on.
go back and I'm gonna go to Bandcamp.
I got there is a that's a new song. So there's a demo version of it available on Bandcamp.
Okay.
It's called Home Fries.
Oh, home fries. I wouldn't have guessed that at all. Okay, home fries. Thank
Well,
you.
it's because it's kind of home fried.
Okay.
And that song, I got this computer with GarageBand on it, and it really upped my game, upped my. I really
Yeah.
haven't explored it that much, but I was working with PCs, but I got this Apple with a GarageBand, and
Very good.
woo, oh my goodness, yeah. So I haven't really explored all that, but that's what. There's a bunch of guitars, so it's kind of self-indulgent, you know.
I love that. Well, look, we learned tonight so much. I mean, this is stuff about Mudcat we never knew before. He cursed out a woman, then he felt bad about it. Then he gets angry a lot, but he only gets angry because he wants the world to be better, and we should
See,
be angry
yeah,
about
that's my
making the world
justification.
better. We should be angry, damn it, right? If you're not
Yeah,
angry,
what the hell? What the hell's going on in Ukraine? What the hell's going on down the street at trying to get in the hospital? What the hell?
Yeah, you
That's
gotta be. If
stupid.
you're not
What?
angry,
Why?
then you
Why are they poisoning the grass right next? They're not really next door to me, but why are they doing it right next door? It's
right next door
crazy.
to you. Yeah.
Because you're grieving because there's so much suffering for all that. The first one, it actually holds all of it because that is so much environmental devastation involved with war. You know, in training people for war, they were like, they're training the soldiers and everything. And it's like, then they're driving through the wood, the forest, you know, with these big tanks. And it's like, can you imagine how many rabbits and how many animals and then they're not only themselves, but through that, their habitat is destroyed. And then they're shooting, you know, they're taking target practice, and that's got to be toxic as hell and got to be really upsetting the animals. So you got this complete, you know, then it's all generational because there's kids growing up in this, and and there's no reason. There's enough for everybody.
Right.
We know it. It's a fact.
Yeah, Europe's largest nuclear power plant is being held hostage right now by Russia, and Ukraine is firing upon it to try and release it. I mean, it's like at any moment, this war can be another Chernobyl, which generations, like you said, generations deep. We don't even understand how that devastation could go to the earth. The animals,
and no good reason. No reason.
Suffers, right. For no reason, just somebody,
just greed,
money, whatever.
Greed.
The hell they come up with. So yeah,
they already had enough. The ones perpetrating already had enough.
Yeah, that's right. Huh? Wow, this is
the
Mudcat we've been hungry for. This is the Mudcat we've been wanting. This is
motivational.
This is the Incredible Hulk Mudcat.
Lou Ferrigno.
I am Mudcat. Hear me roar.
Yes, thank you, Mudcat, so much for giving us your energy and your spirit and your soul and your heart, and for being a risk taker and for being a legend. Now you are the mentor, you are the legend, you are the passer down of the legacy, and I think that's so wonderful that you are in that role right now, and I'm just so proud to know you and so honored to be around you.
Well, I'm proud to know you too. I've really enjoyed what you're doing. I'm really proud of you, big time. You're a great artist.
Thank you. Oh gosh, I'm gonna cry later.
I want to cry, Renee. I want to cry, and I want to say, you inspire me so much, Mudcat, because I follow you, and I recommend everyone to go follow you. And but you know, you and your beautiful wife and your beautiful garden, you're into organic farming. There's so much more about you that the world just needs to know. Like, you're just so freaking amazing. And tell Catherine I said shout out. Catherine, you picked a good one, because I almost married a blues drummer, and I'm glad I didn't. But you picked a good one.
Well,
you're not always good as Mudcat.
Cora May told me if I don't marry Catherine, don't marry nobody.
There you go. There you go.
You knew.
But
we got to end the show. We went overtime, Renee. Rory
likes
Tom Cheshire would be very happy.
Thank you.
Is he on overtime?
Is he on next?
Tom Cheshire.
No. We got a joke going back and forth between us that, you know, when we go overtime, the other one is pleased by it.
Right on. He's great too. Well, thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna close this
Love
out
y'all.
with the video, the Mudcat clip, Renee. I'm gonna close this out with that. He actually was teasing me in the green room. I thought I was like, I hear I have this clip, and he's like, yeah, that wasn't me. That's my brothers. Those are my brothers. And I was like, what? He totally April Fooled me. Like, the April Fool's jokes are already starting, Renee. I'm already done. M got me this week. Now, Mudcat got me today. I'm like, no, but this is really Mudcat. But like,
is he on a table?
I'm gonna close this out with this video. Okay.
But Catherine was
giving
giving
beer mugs.
Catherine was giving me stuff.
Again. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Rory. I love you guys. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna close it out with the clip. Here we go.
Sun is bound to shine, my back door someday. Oh man, play it for me.
Lavender Jones here. How y'all doing? I hope y'all are having a wonderful afternoon.